So welcome to Vistamine. This special session on CAT 2017 preparation plan is planned about 6.5 months before the actual CAT exam is expected to be. Whether you have written the exam once or whether you have written the exam or whether you're going to write this exam for the first time, the beauty of CAT is it's a pretty easy exam provided you have a systematic preparation and more importantly a systematic way of writing the exam. Especially those of you who have written the CAT exam know that it is not at all difficult. However, there are certain things that one needs to take care of, especially when preparing for a competitive exam. It is not just about the amount of time or work that one does, but also a planned way in which one approaches this exam, both in terms of preparation as well as the actual exam writing. I'm not going to touch upon the exam writing techniques right away. We will do that somewhere closer to June, July, August actually, closer to August, because that will be 4 months before the CAT exam. But today, my job is to ensure that, look, if you have these months available for you and you are thinking of writing CAT in 2017, we have enough and more time to get there. Those of you are obviously thinking of only 2018, just in case there is one in this class. Suffice it to say that, friend, you can start the day you decide that you want to get into an MBA institute, especially the IIMs, etc. Quite a few of you, like Shamik was telling, quite a few of you who are in the IT sector, I think it is almost imperative, it's almost a mandatory thing that you get onto the management bandwagon. Not doing so could be really suicidal or detrimental to your career itself. I'm not trying to scare you, but that's the truth. The truth is, after a point of time, once you are, a mid-management level executive in an IT firm, there is very little that you can contribute to an organization that a fresher or a person with 1 or 2 years of experience cannot contribute. Because it is about understanding and learning the same thing again and again, or rather using Google to do a lot of things again and again, and that requires very, very less, may I say, ability, if not responsibility. Of course, responsibility is the reason why you are being paid so much, especially people with 8 to 10 years experience. So the mid-management level executives are at a bigger danger of getting replaced, provided, of course, they are in the management cadre. You'll be surprised, but the more managerial your work becomes, the more important you become, because you yourself take the decisions, find you. When you start taking decisions, you will probably kind of, take people out from not so productive positions and make sure that you are maximizing the utility of the people with you in that sense. We'll think about it later. Those of you who have any kind of an individual discussion that to make, Shubham says he is not able to hear. Vikram, please help. So those of you who have really looked at CAT, more importantly as an MBA from an IIM or any of the top institutes, I think we need to respect this exam called CAT only because there are about a couple of lakh students writing this exam and about 8 to 10,000 seats available if you add the top 30 colleges, including, of course, the IIMs. For these, in other words, you need to be in the top 95 percentile to be able to get into the best of the institutes. Obviously, if you want to get into IIM, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcuttas of the world, you need to be the 99 plus percentile or 99.6 plus percentile in that sense of the word, especially for A and B. And if you are a male software engineer, to make it worse. If you are a woman software engineer, you still have a little bit of a leeway of getting a 99.3 percentile and still getting calls from one of these ABCs of the world, provided of course 10th, 12th are also taken care of. Graduate engineer male Shamik is the I keep calling it, this is the worst time to be that in India at least. The only salvation for you over a period of time is to get out from what you're doing and probably get into one of the MBA schools, even if it means that you put in extra effort for the next 6 months. Mind you guys, 99.65 plus, which is what an Ahmedabad or a Calcutta call will be for an open category student. I'm talking about a male graduate engineer male. It is not general engineer male. It is not difficult, provided, of course, you know how to get there, what to do to get there. My job for the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes is to get you there, help you get there, whatever background that you might have. If you are a BA in English at 93, 94 percentile, you may still make it to an IIM Ahmedabad or a Calcutta for that matter, or a Bangalore. But then I am expecting that there is no harm trying for a seriously top class percentile to make sure that there is zero stone unturned to get there where you want to get. Here is the next, as I said, a small presentation before that, but my name is ARKS. Just before I can continue, let me also give you my credentials. I'm an engineer in electronics and communication, way back in 1993 from Osmania University College of Engineering. Done my MBA from IIM Calcutta, 1997. Worked with Maruti Udyog Limited. Today it's Maruti Suzuki, and in the marketing and sales department for 3 years. 2000 to 2010, I was the All India CAT Director at Time, one of the leading CAT institutes in the country. 2012 onwards, I have been the CEO of VistaMind Education. VistaMind, we'll talk about it a little later, is the only live online training institute. There are others also, but quite a lot of them do not do a complete program. They do videos plus live online training. Most of these live online training is not complete training, but more of a doubt clearing session kind of things. Of course, a couple of them are joining the bandwagon, but we have been the pioneers in the last 3.5, 4 years. In fact, 4 years now. 2012 CAT, 2013 CAT is what we did full-fledged, and this is the 2017, the 4th CAT that we are trying to do. But more of it later. Let's understand what are the agenda. Prashant, I have got more than 100 calls of the IIMs for the last so many years. Yeah, last year it was 99.89, but then please understand, I did my MBA before you were born almost. So don't waste your time asking my percentiles in that sense. Okay? And my percentile, even if I get 100, doesn't mean you will get 99.99. Understand that whether I can or any one of us who can train can get you there. It's like this. A guy who is a PhD can't teach you. A guy who can teach you very well. Though it's a different issue that some of the AICTs and the UGCs of the world think differently. Anyway, let me not get into that right away. Just a second, if I can. So what is the agenda for today? What is the target CAT 2017? Agenda has basically 4 items. Very quickly, let's understand CAT. Those of you who have already written CAT, great. But if you have not written CAT, I think it is a nice time to just understand what do you expect in the exam. Even those who have written CAT exam, I think the numbers that, for example, I'm going to talk about scores and percentiles for you to understand that, listen, it is not difficult to get those numbers if you do a very, very systematic preparation. 6 months is more than sufficient to do anything. In fact, typically I'll always say even 4 months is sufficient. But then because only 4 months are sufficient or 5 months is sufficient, you don't waste your next 1.5 months. Once you have decided to do an MBA, especially if from the IIMs. Then we talk about mission IIM. How do we aim for the best? And last, I'm going to talk about the preparation for each of the areas. The idea, again, is to look at area by area, what you should do for the first 100 days, the next 1.5 months, and the next 2 months. That's the way I put it. First 3 months, then 2 months, and then 1.5 months, and then 2 months. In that sense of the word, so that on December 3rd, 99% as the CAT date, you are thoroughly prepared for the test. When you prepare for CAT, Mind you, you also would have prepared well for almost all the other exams too. Yes, you need to fine tune them. You may be good in one day internationals, but you need to fine tune for T20 or vice versa. But to a large extent, if your fundamentals are good, it is about getting a match preparation through various mocks. Okay, that's what we'll look at it. And of course, as I said, just keep your questions for the last. Any questions that you might have, please be very open to ask these questions, and I'm here to help you out on that. So those of you who have an idea of CAT, here it is. But those of you who have not seen the CAT paper, this is the expected CAT paper even in 2017, unless they change drastically. 3 sections, 100 questions, 180 minutes. Each question carries 3 marks. Every negative answer or a wrong answer carries -1 mark. In other words, the total marks available are 300 marks. I'm just making one of my colleagues also a panelist so that he can help you too. The total marks available are 300 marks for this exam. Before we continue, there are 3 sections I said. All IIMs and some of the very good institutes expect you not just to get marks overall, but also get a minimum cutoff in each of the 3 sections. Typically, IIM Ahmedabad has said, boss, you need a minimum of 80 percentile in each of the 3 sections and a 90 percentile in all the 3 put together. Some of them, the cutoff is 85 percentile in each of the sections and or 90 percentile in each of the sections. When I'm saying the overall should be 90 for IIM Ahmedabad, it basically means if you have more than 90 and 80 in all the 3 sections, you at least qualify to be in the consideration set. But beyond that, of course, you need to also be in the top, let's say 600, 700 people to get an open category call. The percentiles obviously reduce once you have an NCOBC or a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe certificate. If you have a PWD certificate also, the consideration required, the percentile requirement obviously is much lesser. What is this 80 percentile, 90 percentile, etc.? What exactly is a percentile? Let me just very briefly explain that. A percentile is nothing but the percentage of people below your mark. Please remember, it is the number of people who return the test, the percentage of people below you. It is not really bothered about the marks required. It is the percentage of people below you. Example, just to quickly look at it. If you have 100 people writing the exam, for example, if you have only 1 person writing the, 100 people writing the exam, and if your rank is 1, mind you, mark could be whatever marks, but if your rank with respect to the marks is 1, then your percentile is 99 percentile, because 99% people are below you. Similarly, if you're 10, that is 10%, your percentile will be 90. Likewise, if 1 lakh people write the exam and your rank is 1, 99,999 people are below you. In other words, the percentile will be 99.999. Since the IIMs give you only a 2-digit decimal, this gets translated to a 100 percentile. In fact, if you can see, even the 5th ranker will get a 99.995, which will also become a 100 percentile. So for every 1 lakh students, 5 guys can get 100 percentile. And for every 2 lakh students, 10 students can get 100 percentile. If you are a 1000th rank student out of 1 lakh, then your percentile will be 99, because 1000 out of 1 lakh is 1%. So 99% people are below you, hence your percentile will be 99 percentile. Obviously, if 2 lakh people are there, 2000 will be 99 percentile. So if you want to get into an IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, you will need a 99, Ahmedabad and Calcutta, sorry, 99.6 plus percentile, that is 0.4 percentile. So out of 2 lakhs, you need to be in the top 800 students. Out of 2 lakh students, that's exactly what we expect this year's CAT will be, that is CAT 2017 will be. Okay, so now please understand, to get a cutoff for each of the sections, to get a cutoff, if it is 90 percentile, out of 2 lakh students, you need to be in the top 20,000 students, that is 90 percentile. And as I said, I am Ahmedabad, the minimum percentile is 80 percentile only. That's 40,000th rank among 2 lakh people. Frankly, getting an 80 percentile or 90 percentile should be a cinch. The fact that you guys are serious itself, if you put in certain effort, some effort at least, you will get the 90 plus percentile. In fact, if you put in some effort, not some, a little more serious effort, getting up to 95, 96 becomes easier. The challenge is to get from 95 to 99. You know, that's the perfection that is required. That is where a lot of training, lot of practice, and the right strategy to get the 99 plus percentile is required. It is not, see, in fact, a lot of people will tell you, yeah, getting 90 percentile is not difficult. In fact, the first time you write without any preparation, you will actually get more percentile. But the second time you write with a lot of percentile, second time you write with a with a lot of preparation, there is a lot of mental tension also, and that is where the problem comes into picture. So from 96 or 95 to 99.6 or 99.7, that difference is what we need to understand. Let's look at what is the approximate difference there we get. Sorry, if you look at it, if you were a 96 percentiler, if you were a 96 percentiler or a 95 percentiler, your score would have been about 125 to 130, right? But to get a 99.5, the difference is about close to 30, 40 marks almost. 165 is 40 marks, it could be 40. The 40 marks extra. You know, I am telling you, look at the numbers here, guys. 123 is 95 percentile. 108 is 90 percentile. This is out of 300, mind you. That's about what? 36%. 36% of the mark, you will get a 90 percentile. 41% of the mark, 41% of the total mark, you will get a 95 percentile. But the moment you want a 99.6, 99.7, you're talking about a 55 to 60 percentile. Sorry. That is what the difference is. You know, the 40 marks, 13, 14 more questions, 14 more questions, or let's take it completely, 15 more questions from 95 to 99.65. 15 more questions, correct. That means 5 extra questions in each of the 3 sections. Not difficult if we have 6 months to go. Not difficult if you really want to crack not 99.6 but 99.99 also. 99.9 this time was about 180 actually. 99.99 was something like 206, 205 for some of them, which is not at all difficult to get. 200 will get you easily 99.99 or 98, any kind of an exam that you write, however difficult, however easy the paper is. Mission 200 should be your goal. And for that goal to happen, it is not, say again, let me put it, especially for people who have written this CAT. People who have not written this CAT, just follow every sentence that we say. But people who have written CAT, the only reason somebody had stuck at 93 or 95 or 96 for that matter is, you know, that extra push, extra strategy, extra bit of, you know, that preparation is missing. You know, there is a very, very small difference between getting a 99.9 and a 99.99 percentile. Even there, now look at it, 99 to 99.5 also, the difference is about 15 marks. That's only 5 questions. This is the reality, and our endeavor at Vista Mind is to see how each one of you, each student bridges this gap. It is not a combined story where 50 people sit in the class and everybody is learning. It's about understanding each individual's requirement and making sure that you are ready for that. That's what our plan is. So CAT 2017 Mission IIM is our goal, your goal too, and let's see how we can do it together. First, I'm going to give you a broad idea of what are the milestones in this mission. What should you do when to make sure that you are, in the groove, in the reckoning for getting that high percentile. I am saying, see, if you notice, guys, some of you may be NC, OBC, or SC or ST. I am aware of this fact. Even if you are, please realize that you can get the 99+ percentile. I have a student, Mitesh Kumar, with a 98.8 percentile, NC, OBC, cracked every institute in the country. Yes, if you have it, flaunt it. Therefore, get that high percentile so that your getting into an IIM is guaranteed. Somebody can come back and ask, sir, will I get it at 90 percentile also? Let me just go back this once more to give you some certain information which might be, helping certain people. To get into the new IIMs, you need an 85+ percentile only. If you're an NC OBC, at 88 and 90 percentile, you can get a IIM Lucknow call. ABC also, if you are slightly higher than 92, 93 percentile. If you are a schedule caste, SC, to get into the old IIMs, you need only 84 out of 300. That's 26%, that's all, 26, 27%. 28% in this case. That's less than 30% of the marks. For every 10 questions, you should do 3 correct perfectly. If you are a scheduled tribe, just in case, and your friends are STs, the marks required will be as low as 70 marks out of 300. That's about 21, 22%. 23% actually. Very, very less. To get into the old IIMs, to get into the new IIMs, it will become easier, and a lot of other institutes will come to you without much of ado. But then, because the percentile required is less, most of these guys do not work as much as one should. And that is the thing which I want you to avoid. Do not give up. Till the exam is over, try to get that 100 percentile, you might get it. Somebody asked me, how can I get 99.65? Yes, you can get 99.65, provided you do this milestones the right way. So here is my broad agenda, friends, of what and how you should get there. Let's go back to what should you do in October and November. That is the 2 months before the actual CAT, where you should be only thinking about revision, final strategy of the exam. Write about 10 mocks. We call them the smart cats. 10 weeks, 10 mocks. Each mock has to be written, thoroughly analyzed, and areas which are still not very confident in, those areas to be revised. A lot of sectional tests will be taken, maybe 10 more sectional tests in that, which kinds of gives you enough leeway. For example, the typical day would be, out of the 7 days, every Sunday or every day, first day of the week, mock you take, second day, revision, third day, fourth day, fifth day, you do one section each, section 1, section 2, section 3 tests. Sixth day, revision on these. Seventh day, once again, the smart cat. This has to be a very structured method of preparation. You don't have to do 20 mock cats in the last, or 30 mock cats in the last 30 days. You need 10 Sunday to Sunday, almost at the same time that you actually probably will be writing the actual exam itself, because by that time you'll get your hall tickets also, so that you get habituated to that timing also. And to make sure that there are improvements done, you will take sectional tests every week, one sectional test. In other words, Prashant, what I am saying is that in October and November, the entire story should be about writing mock cats, writing sectional tests, 3 sectionals, and revising the weak areas from among whatever you have written as a sectional test. That is going to be your primary goal. That means to say, typically once again understand, there is no real preparation which is getting done in October and November. It is not a degree exam or a school exam where you will by heart one day before the exam kind of things. So in other words, I'm expecting that by end of September or beginning of October, your preparation, so to say, is over. It is only the implementation which is important. That's the first milestone or the last milestone. Next is, of course, August and September. Here is where you formulate your strategy. You revise the second time. In fact, the first revision, obviously, the October, November will be the third revision almost. The August and September will be once again going through topic by topic, area by area, probably concept by concept, and ensuring that you write enough smart cats and sectional tests to experiment on your marks. You need to figure out how do you attempt the paper. Every section there is an attempt method. We will train you for that. We will make sure that you attempt this paper in that sense. You will see the result yourself. And of course, the next 3 months, I'm expecting 20 days in May, June and July. If you have not started preparing at all, this is the time, these 80 days, you go through basics of every topic. Understand, when I say basics, the whole logic of basics is to get the concept behind it. Once you get the concept, you apply these concepts. You apply these concepts, then you write tests. What we call it as the CAT plan. The CAT plan is on concepts, applications, and tests, which will kind of ensure your speed comes in. This is your first 3-month plan, first 100 days plan, which will be also our plan for you when you join us full time. The idea would be that everything that even if you have written CAT again before, you understand that you need to revisit every point once more. That's what. The idea is, expectation is to gain complete familiarity of the exam by the end of July. You may not be brilliant. You may still get about 60-70 marks out of 300. That's okay. The first mock you write, you might get 40 marks out of 300. That's only 12-13%. Fine. But you should be knowing what comes in the exam, what is there in the exam, what are the topics there in the exam, what are concepts which come, everything which can kind of give you a familiarity. Familiarity will give you the maximum marks. Target for May to July. That's what we'll now go deep into it. Very, very briefly, I will again talk about what should you do for 100 days. But briefly, the topic, the quant, every chapter will require you to go through topics, concepts, and exercises. Areas are arithmetic, algebra, numbers, geometry, and pure mathematics. This is what comes in quantitative ability. Data interpretation. You have various kinds of charts, various kinds of questions within the charts. So the typical ones are tables, bars, pie charts, line graphs, spider graphs, triangle graphs, and other miscellaneous items. This does not include the games and tournaments kind of things. The other things which will be required, which can come under logic and or DI, are games and tournaments, cubes, and Venn diagrams, which I will show in LR. In these DI, the questions could be on addition, subtraction of numbers, numbers per se given, percentages given for every set of questions, and or you would be required to understand averages. In fact, you will see that DI, percentage profit and loss, or percentages and ratios, are very, very important. Then you have English. You will have to go through all the 8 parts of speech by doing a lot of exercises. Vocabulary. This is another thing lots of you will not understand. I'll come back to this slide once again, Prashant, in a little while. We will share it with you also. Vocabulary, please realize, is not that it is going to be important directly in an exam. But if your vocab is good, if your diction is good, take my word for it, your reading comprehension will be good, your critical reasoning will be good, your parajumbles will be good, and your overall verbal section will be good. Along with grammar, it's a killing combination. It's the essential combination in the first place. And that's why you need to put in effort for your vocabulary even today. Every day, improving 5 words a day. In 100 days, you can improve 500 days. Reading comprehension. You need to reach 250 words per minute. The RC papers that you get are typically 500 to 700 words in length. You will need about 2 to 3 minutes to read the passage. You may have to read it twice. That makes it 6 minutes. And you will need about 3 to 4 minutes to answer the 3-4 questions, if there are 3 questions. Which means to say, unless you have a 250 word per minute, you are not going to improve. We'll talk about how to improve this. That's your target at least. Improve reading speeds, improve vocabulary, do a tons of grammar exercises. Reasoning, I told you there are puzzles, Venn diagrams, cubes, arrangements, distribution, network selection, and various other kinds of things like syllogisms, connectives, binary logic, and other stuff. Again, nothing of the sort you would have done in your schooling or in your college or in engineering. All this is common sense, but even this common sense has a plan. It has a method in the madness to make sure that you get it faster. It is not just getting it right, but getting it faster. So only when you do a lot of exercise, it's almost like, practice exercises, that is where you will get there. So this is my broad target for Meta July. 1 round of finishing of every area that comes in the CAT exam. When I'm saying CAT, it's obviously going to be extending it to all the other exams also. So let's look at how do I improve this. That's my plan. Now the next 100 days plan, let's look at it very, very specifically. The next 100 days, I want you to pick up Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. There are apps, there are applications, where you can download this word vocabulary apps kind of things. But trust me, while they are good, you can always do that. I'm not stopping you. We also have an app. We also give you these vocab words, etc. Trust me that you need to systematically improve it. Of course, the one way of normal improvement is by reading a lot of books, but that much time we probably do not have. Hence, at least for the next 47-50 days, finish this book, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. I don't have any, I'm not going to get anything out of this by you buying Norman Lewis. We also don't sell it. Vistamine doesn't sell it. It's there on Amazon, Flipkart, or whichever else that you want to buy it. I don't get royalty, but I strongly suggest that you please go through this. It's a collector's item. It will be very useful. If you finish this, you also can pick up one more brilliant book by Rosenblum and Nuremberg called All About Words. One of these at least you should finish in the next 100 days. You need about 20 minutes, 30 minutes for every day to improve this. Next, read newspaper daily. The Mint, the Hindu, the Times of India, the Hindustan Times, the DNA, I don't care which one. Please read it, not the news in shorts. Idea is, if you can add 500 words to your diction, and if you daily read newspaper, 2 things will happen. Your familiarity with words will keep on improving. Your understanding of English will start becoming better. More importantly, your speed of reading will go up. And last but not the least, your vocabulary will go up automatically. Mind you, this is very strong, very important for the actual verbal questions. See, actual verbal questions are para jumbles, para completion, sentence corrections, summary of the passage, etc. None of that, or critical reasoning for that matter. All these things can be done very fun if your basics are strong. That is the reason why the next 100 days, apart from of course some of the exercises which we want to do in the classes, this is something which you need to put in effort every day. Reading comprehension, read the editorial of Times of India or the Mint or ET or whatever, or all of them, doesn't matter. 30 minutes for this. Read one novel a month, 6 novels a month. You can also at least go to the interviews and say my habit or rather my hobby is reading. At least you can say that, boss. Which are the books you have read? You can read out A, B, C, D, E, F kind of things. But one novel a month for the next 6 months, maybe 7, 8 months in December and January, you are in very, very good company of faculty members who will love when you read books. So please pick up any book. Any book is not, I mean, except porn, anything else is fine. That is also you can read later, but now is for you to improve. Read articles on various areas whenever possible. First Post articles you can read, New York Times articles you can read, or the Mint articles ideally I would like you to read. Really brilliant. Business and politics, economy, management, philosophy, psychology spelling is wrong, art, language, literature, the lounge that comes in Mint, very beautiful. History and sociology, triple talaq, cow slaughter, uniform civil code, anything, EVMs which are problematic, etc., etc. Anything which is, or today Emmanuel Marco has become the French president. What, why, etc. kind of things will become very, very important for you to learn that. And last, of course, science. I am saying, how much do you read? Again, it's not that every day you need to read this. I am saying if you have 30 days to go, or 20 days, let's say in May, 1 or 2 articles per day is more than sufficient apart from reading an hour. I mean, don't make it into a kind of a, this I have to do kind of thing. Read it naturally. Download the Mint app, download some of the apps. In fact, we at VistaMind also, we have a WhatsApp group for all our students. We keep giving the right kind of 2 or 3 articles a day or 1, 2 articles a day, which we believe that you should write down. You should read up is more than sufficient for you to take it up. Then of course, grammar, you should attend every class. That is very, very important. While you can have a Renan Martin, I strongly believe that it will help you if you attend grammar classes. This will kind of give you a complete understanding of how grammar should be done. Then of course there will be classes on parajumbles, para-completion, critical reasoning, which will also be useful for GMAT. And there are also odd parajumbles and summary kind of things, which will be taken up as classes. Even otherwise, if you notice the overwhelming expectation for my verbal area for you, we have 6 months more to go. First 100 days is to sharpen your skills of words, grammar, reading speeds. That with a variety of reading that you do, my bet is you will be far better off. Again guys, at this stage, let me put it this way. It's not going to be a cinch. It's not that anybody and everybody can get into IIM Ahmedabad. Mind you, 200,000 students write this exam. Only about 400, are getting into an IIM Ahmedabad, 400 getting into a Bangalore or a Calcutta. Which means to say you need to be in the top 1200 to get to ABC or top 2000 to get into the top 5 institutes in the country. You will need every ounce of patience, consistency, and of course a little bit of willpower to get it there. That is where I think mentorship, that is where we being there continuously to help you can help you in that sense. Let's look at quantitative ability very, very quickly. Divide the quantitative area into 6 sub-areas. The weightages given are something like this, if you know. Arithmetic it has about 15-20%. Numbers alone is about 15-20%. Geometry is again about 15-20%. Algebra is a slightly bigger number, 25-30%. Pure mathematics like permutations and combinations, functions and graphs can be 5-10%. That means about 3 questions to 2 to 3 questions. And of course, 1 or 2 miscellaneous questions can always come in a quant section. So when you're preparing for this exam, you need to prepare in a very structured manner too. So every area is important. You can't reward. While I know that you need to get, let's say, 50 marks, it doesn't mean that you will leave out, skip out anything else. Ideally, you should do everything till at least end of October. Only in November you decide, boss, ye mere nahi aa raha hai. Permutation, combinations, whatever I do, I'm not getting it. So that is when you will leave it. But May 10th is not, or May 9th or May 10th is not a day where you can leave it. Okay? This is the subdivision of the areas into topics. Those of you have it. Again, you don't have to write it down, friends. We will share it with you, the video as well as the entire PPT, so you can keep this with you. It's also available on our website. I have written an article, CAT preparation 1 and CAT preparation 2. It will give you a complete understanding of it. This is what the topics are: arithmetic 6 topics, numbers 2 topics, algebra 5 topics, ERPV is equations, ratio, proportion, variation for the matter, geometry, mensuration, pure mathematics, etc. kind of things. How do you prepare? Much before you prepare for the quant area, I think the next 15-20 days have to be done in improving your basic quant. Understanding odd, even, real, rational, prime, composite numbers. Understanding basics of logs, basics of indices. You know, a to the power m into b to the power n is equal to a to the power m into b to the power m is equal to ab to the power m, or a to the power m into a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n. Such kind of things. Very, very basic. You need to learn. Basics of functions and polynomials. How does a quadratic expression look like? What does a polynomial look like? What is the degree of polynomial? You know, the a plus b whole square, a minus b whole square, a plus b whole cube. These are very, very basic things, guys, of algebra you are expected to know. That is the part of algebra quant. Then the other part of it is arithmetic quant, which is again extremely useful for data interpretation, and that is your speed mathematics. Tables up to 19, squares up to 30, and cubes up to 12. Fractions, 1 by 2 is 50%, 3 by 4 is 75%, 7 by 12 is 56.25%, etc. kind of things. You need to get into that kind of things. Speed, addition and subtraction. Addition, subtraction is extremely important too. And of course, I said the last one, fractions into percentages and percentages into fractions. These again, we train you in speed maths classes so that you can prepare for this, you can practice for this. Every day if you practice, you will be good in this. Because these are the basic ingredients. Once you are good in this, then the next preparation for the topic, how do you do it? Read, for every topic, read the basics, solve the examples from each of the basics of the concepts. Then we have 34 handouts of quantitative ability. Solve every exercise, for every exercise of the topic, whichever topic, you solve the exercise. If you are unable to solve any question, at first give at least 5 or 7 minutes per question. Only post that, see the solution or ask your mentor or a faculty. Please understand, this is a method in this manner. You don't do it if you can't get a question, you can't solve a problem, don't immediately look at a solution. Once you are not able to do it, once you understood that entire chapter, take a test with a time limit for that particular chapter. This is a very systematic way of preparing. Please realize, if there are only 34 chapters, 34 questions, 34 days it takes. But I am saying this is to be done for the first 100 days if required be. Yes, Shubham, we will do that. Once you finish the test, review the marks, review some of the concepts which go wrong, which is what we will also do in the classes too. Every class, once the class is over, we will try to give you a 10-minute test to figure out whether you are able to understand it. That way, you will be in a position to figure out whether you understood the concept, then go back to the concept once again and solve it once more for you. This is my target for your end of July kind of things. Again, obvious objective is familiarity with all topics, concepts and formulae. Along with it, speed math I told you, you start off but do every day only a 10-minute exercise. This is a broad idea which you can do it in whichever way you want, but I strongly believe that first 50 days by giving 80 hours, first 50 days by giving 80 hours, you can finish quantitative ability. Remember, 50 days has 24 hours into 50, which means to say, just notice, we are talking about just about an hour and a half, 2 per day. Some days it could be 4 hours. So even if you look at weekends, with 50 days, there will be about 7 weekends at least. 14 days, you can easily do 5 to 6 hours per day, you can finish your quant 1 round. The idea is very simple. Second round is then, first round if you finish one round, it's not that you will finish everything. Second round is where you will again do the same topic, same subject once more. Here is where my simplest submission to everybody who's written CAT and are going to write CAT. You don't have to write or do hundreds of questions. Despite popular belief, it's about doing the same thing once more to make it familiar, which will get you more marks. Trust me when I'm saying this, because this is what we have told and we have seen that happen for 17 years in my career itself. Continue with your speed maths every day, even after this. The idea is, if you finish the first 50 days, then that is June 30 days and 20 days in May, the next 50 days, you will be able to do every area once more. That way, end of August, or worst case scenario, end of August, you will be completely thorough with at least one round of quantitative ability. Verbal reasoning, same 100 days, you are ready with whatever you want. That is, in other words, what I'm saying is by August 15th, the Independence Day, so to say, by August 15th, Independence Day, you would have been ready with every area in CAT. That's exactly what we'll do for data interpretation reasoning also. There are traditional DI charts like tables, pie charts, line graphs, and bar charts. Spider graphs, stacked bars, scatter plots, combination of these graphs are available. So we have 9 different DI exercises, which kind of introduces to every type of traditional DI, along with modern DI. Maxima and minima questions, counting questions, games and tournaments, of course, comes in kind of things. Similarly, logical reasoning, there is symbolic logic, within which you have connectives and deductions, arrangements, straight arrangements, circular arrangements, distribution, selection and ranking in order, networks and binary logic, and various kinds of puzzles. Things like Venn diagrams, cubes, games and tournaments come under logical reasoning. What I'm saying is, again, if you take 8, again, if you notice, I'm expecting that per day you spend about 2.5 hours maximum, or per week you spend about 15 to 20 hours. 20 hours is more like it over a period of time, and you will see you will be in a better position to get there. Once again, the basic ingredients of DI are exactly the same as what we wanted for quant, making sure that you know how to add, subtract, and convert fractions to percentages. Target is solve every type of question once, solve the exercises of Vista Mind. There are 9 of data interpretation and 10 of logical ability. 19, twice you do this, once when you finish the class, when we do the classes, and once when you go back and home you do it in these 100 days. There almost is never going to be another type of set which is outside these topics or outside these kind of sets that we kind of provide you with. Again, here also, like quant, if you're not able to solve any set, give it about 10-15 minutes to solve it, only then see the solution. Ideally ask a mentor or a faculty. And of course, we have tons of DI and LR tests which you can solve it on the Wisdom portal, which will kind of get you into the groove by August 15th, which is what 100 days is all about from today. Then what do you do in August and September? Complete revision. In fact, this is the most important. First round, 100 days, a lot of us, because a lot of classes will happen, there will be momentum there. The momentum should not break. So most important part of preparation is August and September before you get into the last leg of your preparation, the business end as they call it. You should not lose focus of continuity. So there are a lot of revision. Second round of revision for all these chapters need to be done. You start writing the mocks very seriously, or start writing individual tests seriously. We will start workshops. For every area very, very thoroughly. So we will ensure that that revision is done for you through these workshops, and you start experimenting on every way in which you can write the exam. The strategy to write the exam, the method to write the exam, the 60 minutes, how do you use it kind of things. Once you get the comfort zone, it becomes much, much more easier. Last 2 months, which is what I said, is about the final business end of the situation where you will, 7 days, there is a plan which I will, of course, when you come to October, I will elaborate how you do it. But suffice it to say, you do 10 sectional tests, 10 sectional tests, 10 smart cats, complete analysis through revision of the smart cats, and by the time you come to middle of November, you finalize the best strategy that you will use for Cat 17. That's the strong, easy, and of course a systematic method of getting there. How do you prepare for this CAT is what I, as a mentor, as a teacher who has been in this for too long, can explain to you. My name is ARKS. Those of you who have missed out my initial numbers. ARKS Srinivas. I'm a graduate from IIM Calcutta, engineer. Prior to this, in electronics and communication, worked with Maruti. For the last 17 years, I've been training students for CAT. 10 years as an All India CAT director at time, first at Hyderabad and then at Bombay, and now for the last 6 years with in Bangalore as the CEO of VistaMind. We are the only live online training players, first pioneers in the live online training, like we do that. Why do you need a coaching institute for preparing? Do you really need coaching at all? You have returned CAT, you are 96 percentile already, 97% already, you need 99. Do you really need somebody to prepare? Can you not write just the mocks? Can you not write some 50 mocks and be there? My answer to that is probably yes, but why would you want to take a chance? This is almost the last thing. Thank you, Prashant. Why will the coaching help? Coaching is not that I'm going to teach you anything new, anything different. What coaching is going to help you is give you direction, give you a structure, and more importantly, it gives you discipline. Because every week you are going through classes. When you are doing it on your own, you can do it. You have the willpower, you can do it. But this will ensure that somebody is also checking what you're doing. You are checking what's happening to you and how you are progressing on a regular basis. That you can write the smart cats and keep improving also. But this will ensure that your direction is there. And of course, people like us are still there to help you out. Then there will always be certain concepts. Every time you do it, there'll be new things. So there'll be doubt clearing sessions also. Obviously, there will be enough and more tests available these days. That is not going to be the USP, of course, of VistaMind. But you need where to do this from. Practice material tests, hopefully will be tests, especially online tests will be useful to you. Last but not the least, coaching helps in getting you the right advisory, the right guidance, not only for CAT, but how to apply, where to apply, how to prepare for your GD's interviews, etc. kind of things. And that's what we as VistaMind plan to do, the best mentorship available for you. Why online? Offline, you can go to the place, you can see one-on-one. By the way, here I'm not giving you a chance to talk to us, but I can give you a chance to talk to you, talk to us, you can chat with us. It is live interactive training. In fact, you'll see that there is zero doubt. Any doubt that you have, you can ask. Nobody is going to question you whether how silly that doubt is, kind of things. We have seen it, even IIT batches, NIT batches, lot of silly questions are asked, or they think they are silly, but believe me, concepts have to be cleared, even if they are in grammar, they are in reading comprehension, they are of course in quant or DI, verbal, or kind of things. Make sure that online is somewhere, it is completely convenient, sitting at home you can do it like you're doing at 9 o'clock, and you need a decent internet connection, that's all. These are live classes going on, every class is live, 80 plus classes will be live, and we record the videos. Instead of just buying recorded videos and thinking that one day you will read them or see them, here we are forcing you to do this. We believe that, look, the initiation is there, but that self-motivation, we try to bring it to you by making sure that you are always in the classes. Without any doubt, we have the best CAT faculty team. You can check out the names of the faculty team, which I'm going to show you to you. You will see that you are in safest hands for the CAT preparation. And of course, we have exclusive batches for repeaters, exclusive batches for top tier institutes, the IITs, NITs. I'm not saying that others can't get into this. What I'm trying to say is we make sure that we spend, Nandini, 60 to 70% of the students in the IIMs are non-IITs. In fact, if I give you a number, 20% of them are IITians, 15% of them are NITians, the rest of them are non-IITians and non-NITians. Nandini is asking whether non-IITians can get through. It's a myth that only IITians get through. Why do you want to join Vistamind? Simply because it's one of the first pioneers in online live CAT training with the best faculty members. We also record our classes so that just in case you miss, you can see the recorded class. But again, even if you join in one batch, you can attend class of any other batch also. That's the beauty of this. So there is no physical missing of classes in that sense. The smart CATs, the mocks that we do are prepared by us. 20 of them by looking at the original CAT questions of the last so many years. You can benchmark yourself with the best. About 3,000 students are expected to write this year's mock CATs with us, with the IITians, NITians, and various other people. That kind of gives you a very quick idea of, and the best of them do come to us because that we are known to people, especially with a lot of work experience and from the top institutes. That will give people easy, access to us as well as understand where they stand in their own preparation. Every smart CAT, not all of them, 10 smart CATs are discussed by me and my couple of other directors. The idea is to ensure that you get an individual strategy once we understand the way to write the exam. And of course, there are tons of online sectional tests to ensure that you have enough practice. Who is this? And again, and I'm saying was my colleague Srinivas, who is also a co-panelist with me. He's an IIM Indore graduate. Nishant, who is an IIM Kozhikode graduate. Rahul, who is an IIM Calcutta classmate of mine. Raghunath sir, who is a faculty member of mathematics for the last 20 years. He's been training. Geeta, Sunita, Ankur, and IIM Bangalore graduate, head of my Calcutta division. Various other people who are really doing this entire thing on a regular basis will be your mentors. This is my top class online team with tons of experience, having cracked the CAT themselves, most of them. Like Sunita, for example, every year when she writes, she gets a 99.9, 99.99 percentile kind of thing. We will help you get there individually. As I said, I am a CEO of this institute, and I'll be personally there to a larger. You can obviously take feedback from some of the students who have joined us to figure out whether we are the right vehicle for you and the partners for you to are getting the best training for CAT as well as post that for GD and interviews. Our programs are not just for CAT, we are also for GMAT. We have online full-time programs for both GMAT and CAT. Those of you who have more than 3 years experience or 2+ years experience, I normally recommend that you also write GMAT along with CAT. Finish GMAT in the next 2-3 months, especially if you have more than 3 years, so that you are hedging your bets properly. We have only smart CATs also at discussions. If you have already, 3 years you have taken coaching, do you really want to take coaching once more? Maybe, may not be. I'm not going to say don't take it. I'm not going to say take it. It is your job. 6 months to go. Can you do it yourself? Maybe you can. With us, can you do it better? Probably yes. That is the decision that you need to take. We also have a specific workshops plus smart CAT programs, which you can join us typically in August, September, which is what I was talking about. Our entire fees is only 16,950, where it includes 80+ classes, 10 mock CAT live discussions apart from 20 mock CATs, 5 seminars, 3 CAT like test taking strategies, how to get into B schools, various other individual strategies for quant, DI, verbal, etc. kind of things. Lot of sessions for post CAT exam too, the GDs, the interviews, the written analysis test, and of course GK. Mind you guys, this is the most competitive rate in the country for the kind of a background, for the kind of training and rigor with which you get this, you will get into kind of things. 16,950. You can just go to instamojo.com/@vistamind.com to pay up. You have an IIT or an NIT background with you, please get in touch with Leena. We will also, I'm not saying you others can't get in. I am saying that we also have certain exclusive batches for those people, kind of things. Ketan Patel is asking, what is my strategy for I have about 400 students who have gone through GDPI training with me, my friend Ketan. All I want you to do is talk to any of these people. I'm going to put up their names, 300 plus who have got through conversions on the website with their phone numbers and probably email IDs, not phone numbers. You can mail them. You will see what kind of training we do. It's one of the possibly the most. Yes, of course, Shamik. That is exactly what we have called Directors Batch 2. Because it will be useful 8 months in that sense. This is my course fees, guys. 2017 class. Again, the most live number of classes, not recorded classes. These are all live, and we will finish these 80 classes in the next 120 days as such, so that you have enough time to do revision and, more importantly, be geared up for the CAT preparation. Okay, this is my team. My name is ARKS, ARKS @wisdomind.com is my email ID, and the number is there. A. Srinivas is my colleague who is also there right now online. He can keep answering you. In fact, a lot of people are asking, Srinivas, people are directly sending it to me, I guess, to host directly. Yes, Shamik, you can speak to Leena and or A. Srinivas, forget that. 2 installments, Pavan, typically. That is 8950 and 8000, you can do it. Rahul is asking, okay, I'm going to stop this message, right, guys. Thank you so much for spending 1 hour with me today. I hope you have got a broad idea of how to prepare for CAT and whether you should be preparing for us with us. At every leg of your preparation, we are there to help you out. As I said, my name is ARKS. Been doing this for 17 years, full time. Prior to that, before going to IIM Calcutta, also I started my training for MBA entrances. It will help you to be in touch with us. Wish you all the very best for your careers, especially for your CAT and other exams too. And hope to see you in our classes as we go along. Okay, I'll stop this video for the moment. And any questions, please feel free to mail me or shoot it on the chat right now.